Hi there, it's Kitty Boitnott of Boitnott Coaching with your weekly newsletter message. And right up front, I need to apologize. I have plagiarized my own work. I posted on late Friday evening, early Saturday morning, a post on LinkedIn about giving your value away. And as I was thinking about what I wanted my message for this newsletter to be, I thought, I don't know how many of my newsletter followers who actually read the newsletter are also LinkedIn connections. And so it's likely that some of you have already seen the message, but it's just as likely that some of you haven't, maybe even most of you haven't. So really quickly, the article for today is simply a reposting of the message from my last LinkedIn post. But here's the video cliff notes. I had a dream last week, and this is a true story. It's not just a setup. I had a dream. And in the dream, I was on some sort of a treasure hunt. And I didn't know exactly what I was looking for, but I knew that whatever it was that I was looking for was valuable because someone had offered to give me $1,000 if I could find it. And $1,000 is not a small amount of money, right? So I'm on this treasure hunt. I'm looking for something that's worth at least $1,000 to somebody. And all of a sudden I found it, and it was this wreath. Now, in the photograph, the only thing I could find that even closely resembled it looks more like a brooch in the image that I found on Shutterstock. But what I actually found was a wreath, like a Christmas wreath that you might hang on the door, the front door, except that it was clearly made of gold nuggets, solid gold nuggets, the kind of nuggets that you might have found if you were a gold miner back in the California rush days. And thrown in with the gold nuggets were diamonds and beautifully cut, huge cut sapphires, stones. And the closest thing I could find on Shutterstock, like I said, is this brooch picture. But the words cannot describe how gorgeous this wreath was and how valuable. I mean, just from the gold that was embedded in it, you could tell that it was worth maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I'd already promised to hand it over for $1,000 in advance. And I gave the lady, that was a woman in the dream, I gave her the wreath, and she gave me a check for $1,000. And for a little while in the dream, I felt like I'd made a pretty good deal. Somewhere along later in the dream, I mean, it's that dream, that part of the dream sort of faded out. You know how dreams do. But a little while later, into the night, morning, whenever it was that I was having this particular dream, I suddenly had this revelation, this sudden realization that, oh my gosh, that wreath was worth so much more than $1,000, and I, without question, just handed it over for a measly $1,000. That wreath would have been worth 100 times that, maybe 1,000 times that, maybe even more. And then I faded back to sleep and woke up the next morning. And as I'm thinking and preparing for the day, I suddenly remember that dream. And I'm not thinking anything in particular about the dream, but I have a tendency to remember dreams fairly vividly sometimes. And in this case, I remembered that beautiful wreath. I could describe to you exactly what it looked like still. And it's been a week or more since I had the dream. And I suddenly stopped in my tracks. And I thought, how often do we do that? That we give away for a measly sum what we are truly worth. How often do we sell ourselves short? How often do we make transactions, offer transactions, make deals that are not in our own best interest. Now, I don't know about you, but that stuck with me enough that I wanted to write about it. I wanted to share it because I want to remind myself the next time I get ready to sell myself short or to give away a talent, a gift that only I have, I'm going to remind myself not to sell myself short, not to undervalue what I have to offer. And I think the same goes for each one of you. Each of you who might be hearing this message or who might have decided to open this newsletter when you haven't opened any others for weeks. But something about the title of this message grabs you and makes you want to see what it is that I have to say about, are you giving your value away? And it can be pertaining to your job, but it can also be pertaining to your relationships, your friendships, your significant relationship, your family relationships. Are you being taken advantage of? Or are you giving of yourself in a way that you resent, but it's expected of you, and somehow you haven't found your voice to say, hey, wait, this has got to change. This needs to stop. I'm worth more than this. You need to value me more. And it's not so much about telling other people that they should value you. It's about you recognizing your own worth. And when we do that, I really believe we begin to show up differently in the world. When we value ourselves, other people will recognize that. They can't help but recognize the different way you carry yourself, the different way you communicate inside of your relationship. Your boss will notice. Your significant other will notice. The friends and family who may have been taking advantage of you, they will start to notice. You may not have to say a thing. It's how you show up. So I want you to consider, are you selling yourself short? Are you giving away and undervaluing your true value? And if you are, I want you to stop it, starting today. And if you need help with that, let me know. If you have thoughts about it, comments, please let me know. I love hearing from you. And until next time, that is the message. Stop undervaluing yourself. Stop it right now. Have a great week.